I think my question is for Kat. I'm a little confused, so I'd be grateful if you could just clarify. It says in our report we've seen from the NAO, as of 22/3, central government spend on consultants was estimated by HM Treasury to be approximately 1.36 billion, but other sources suggest the figure could be significantly higher. Was it significantly higher?
You can measure it in lots of different ways, but the number we're most interested in is the 1.3 billion, and that is what we have measured the targets and the government's policy.
Is that accurate? I mean, other sources say it could be significantly higher. Is it significantly higher?
I don't think it is, based on the government definitions, and as externally audited.
You don't know?
No, I don't think it is significantly higher. I'm saying I absolutely put faith in the annual report and accounts process and the external assurance process, which is undertaken by the National Audit Office.
I mean, in my businesses each year, we look at how much we spend with each of our suppliers, and we then beat them up to get a discount.
Yeah.
So are you able to tell the committee exactly how many wheels you put on the Deloitte Partners Bentleys, or not?
I could ask for it if I wanted to, but the whole basis...
Isn't that what we need to see? In order to be able to decide whether you've actually halved your aim is to halve, your stated aim is to halve. In order to halve something, you need to know what the figure you're halving is.
Yes, and the figure I'm halving is 1.1 billion, which is our latest estimate. It's 1.3 billion.
So it's an estimate. It's extraordinary you don't know the exact figures. I mean, if you're running a business, you know the exact figures. You've actually got it and you can look at it. But it sounds to me like they're all estimates and they're all up in the air.
Inside Britain's committee hearing, this wasn't supposed to be the moment that grabbed headlines. There was no fiery shouting match at the start, no dramatic scandal announcement, and no political ambush prepared for television cameras. But within seconds, the entire tone of the hearing changed because Rupert Lowe started asking a very simple question. How much money is the government actually spending on consultants? And more importantly, why does nobody seem able to give an exact answer? At first, the exchange sounded routine. Government figures, official reports, treasury estimates, the usual bureaucratic language politicians and civil servants use every day. But then Lowe noticed something that immediately raised alarm bells. The numbers didn't match the confidence. Officials kept repeating the figure of around £3 billion being spent on consultants, yet at the same time admitted other estimates suggested the true cost could be much higher. And that's where things suddenly became uncomfortable. Because Rupert Lowe wasn't just asking about numbers anymore, he was exposing something far bigger. A government system handling billions of taxpayer pounds while seemingly operating on rough estimates instead of exact figures. Think about that for a second. Ordinary businesses track every supplier, every invoice, every contract down to the smallest detail because if they don't, they lose money fast. Yet here was a senior civil servant struggling to clearly explain where billions were actually going. And you could hear the frustration building in Lowe's voice almost immediately. Every time he pushed for clarity, the answers became more vague. It depends how you measure it. It's externally audited. We believe the estimate is accurate. Notice the language there. Estimates, belief, approximation, not certainty, not precision. And that's exactly what triggered the clash. Because Lowe approached the hearing like a businessman, not a career politician. To him, this wasn't about bureaucratic wording or technical definitions. It was basic accountability. If taxpayers are funding billions in consultancy spending, then surely government departments should know the exact figures, not guesses, not rounded estimates, exact numbers. And then came the moment that completely changed the atmosphere in the room. Lowe compared government spending oversight to running a private business, explaining how companies monitor every supplier and negotiate every contract carefully. It sounds simple because it is simple. In the real world, people expect financial discipline, but inside government, the response almost sounded shocked that someone expected precision at all. That's what made this exchange so revealing. The issue wasn't only the money, it was the culture surrounding the money. A culture where massive spending can apparently exist inside layers of estimates, reviews, and accounting language without anyone confidently saying, here's the exact total. And when Lowe pressed harder, the civil servant even accidentally contradicted herself, first mentioning 1 billion before quickly correcting it back to 3 billion. That moment said everything. Because suddenly the hearing stopped looking like a discussion about consultancy costs and started looking like something else entirely. A transparency problem, a competence problem, maybe even a system so bloated that nobody fully understands its own spending anymore. And that's the part likely to frustrate ordinary people watching this unfold. Right now across Britain, families are being told to tighten their budgets, businesses are struggling with rising costs, and taxpayers are constantly reminded that public finances are under pressure. Yet at the same time, government departments appear unable to provide precise answers about billions spent on outside consultants. You can understand why people lose trust when they hear that. And perhaps the most striking part of the exchange was how calm Lowe remained while dismantling the explanation piece by piece. He didn't need dramatic slogans, he simply kept returning to the same basic point. If you're serious about reducing spending, you first need to know the real figure. That sounds obvious, but judging by the confusion inside that hearing room, even that may be asking too much. Because what this clash exposed was something deeper than one awkward committee moment. It exposed the growing gap between how ordinary people manage money and how government institutions manage taxpayer money. In normal life, uncertainty over billions would be considered a crisis. In politics, it's often treated as routine administration. And that may be the most alarming part of all. So here's the real question. How can governments promise efficiency when they can't clearly explain where the money is going? Should taxpayers accept estimates involving billions of pounds? And is Rupert Lowe right to demand exact answers instead of bureaucratic language? Let me know what you think in the comments below.